All right, got another update for you with that epic storm headed for the East Coast. It's supposed to strike Friday night. Here, a couple of stories that will just blow your mind. Number one, the store shelves are already wiped out across the East Coast. Imagine that. They're already wiped out, which, all right, on one hand, it's good that at least people are smart enough to think ahead 48 hours. You know, and that's saying something for people who are normally just wake up and they have a one-day, view of their life. Or maybe it extends as far as the next paycheck. But for people to prepare in advance is pretty good to see. I'm glad to see that. But what it's exposing here is the very thin veneer of inventory and the logistics of just-in-time delivery that's stocking the store shelves at Walmart and grocery stores all across the East Coast. Think about it. One meteorological event can strip the shelves bare. That's it. That's all it takes. And all of these millions, tens of millions of people across Baltimore and Washington, D.C., even New York, they are betting their lives on the idea that store shelves will always be restocked every day with magical little elves working the night shift, refacing the shelves with new processed food product from the corporate agriculture and food factory giants who are poisoning them with toxic ingredients. So this is the other side of the story. Not only is the food supply situation in the United States very, very fragile and highly susceptible to being depleted literally in a day, but also think about what these people are buying. They're stocking up on foods that are killing them. Not killing them overnight, right? If you eat white bread made with high fructose corn syrup, and yes, that's in there, check the ingredients, you're eventually going to become diabetic, probably. If you eat hydrogenated oils in the peanut butter, you're going to have heart disease. If you eat the sodium nitrite in the processed meat and the beef jerky and the sandwich meat, you're eventually going to have cancer because it causes cancer, right? So all these people are rushing out to the stores like idiots to buy the products that are going to give them degenerative disease. That's pretty sad. If you look at what is being stripped off the shelves, it's homogenized pasteurized milk, which is toxic to the human cardiovascular system. Raw milk is actually good for you. Raw, unprocessed, whole milk, right off a farm, it's good for you. Homogenized milk causes heart disease and atherosclerosis, sludge blood, it's called. And pasteurization, of course, kills the lactase enzymes that normally help your body digest the lactose that's in milk, causing lactose intolerance, which leads to stuffy sinal passages and nasal problems and constipation. All right? So people are rushing out thinking that they're preparing to save their lives, and they're actually eating massive quantities of foods that are killing them. This is the great tragic theater of the American landscape. They're rushing out to buy processed junk foods made with high fructose corn syrup and chemical additives and preservatives, refined grains with all the minerals taken out. Hey, if you eat white bread, you might as well just jump off a building because you're killing yourself by denying yourself the nutrients that are found in whole grain breads. Right? So this is a theater at many levels, but there's an important lesson in all of this. Number one is if you think you're going to rush out and buy food and supplies in the middle of a power grid failure or an EMP attack or some unexpected event, you're kidding yourself. Because understand what's crucial here. This epic storm that's striking the Northeast has had forewarning, right? People have had 72 hours advanced notice to get ready for it. And so they're rushing out in advance and they're getting prepared and they're stripping the shelves bare. If you don't have any advance notice and you suddenly have to go to the store and buy supplies because you don't have anything at home, you're basically screwed. And this is why, if you're going to practice preparedness and survival, you have to do so in advance. It only makes sense. You got to beat the crowd for an event that could happen on an unknown timeline. Suppose Yellowstone blows, that giant caldera blows up tomorrow. Again, it's not likely to happen. Just to be clear, the chances are very minuscule, in fact. But just as an example, suppose it does. Well, you're not going to be able to go to the store and get anything because everybody else is already there, and they're probably looting and stealing everything in the stores anyway. So your chances are nil. You're going to have stuff at home already to survive. So anyway, next important item in this is that Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe, Maryland Governor Larry Hogan, and D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser, these are some odd names, have all issued states of emergency for their respective jurisdictions. So, what does this say about humanity and America in particular? Our ancestors were pioneers. And by the way, I recently found out that someone in my family line, in my ancestry, actually was a pioneer in the Midwest who homesteaded a large plot of land. It was given that land by the government after proving that they could build it up. It was part of a program that the government offered, I don't know, at the turn of the 20th century. So someone in my family actually did that, a woman. My great-great-great-great-great-great-grandmother or something, well, maybe not that many greats, but somewhere up the tree. One of my great-grandmothers pioneered and actually homesteaded land and built it up. That's the spirit that America was founded on. And yet today, we have a situation where, there's some snow falling out of the sky. You got to declare a state of emergency. It's an emergency. Call out the National Guard. Oh my God, there's frozen water falling out of the sky. What are we going to do? There's life-threatening conditions. The truth is there's life-threatening conditions every single day. If you're cruising down the highway at 65 miles an hour, that's a life-threatening condition on a good day. If you hit something, what is this? That all of a sudden there's snow and everybody has to panic because, National Guard and states of emergency? Is weather now an emergency? And it kind of links into global warming, where they say this cycle of carbon dioxide, H2O, or carbon dioxide, all these cycles, the hydrological cycle or the carbon dioxide cycle, they say that these are now human emergencies, that and weather is now a state emergency. Let me just say this, weather has been around since the beginning of the planet. There is really nothing new happening now that hasn't already been happening for a very long time. And even just a generation ago, we wouldn't have declared this to be a state of emergency. There's something fragile and wimpy about our modern day America, where everything's an emergency. Every normal event, oh my God, there's wind. Really, there's snow. Oh my God. What, they've never seen snow on the East Coast before? I mean, I understand it's maybe 20 to 30 inches of snow. That's a lot of snow. But is it really an emergency? Isn't it more like party time? Enjoy the snow. Make a snow angel. Build a snowman. Have fun with it. Take a day off. Get off the damn internet. Stop posting to your fake friends on Facebook. Go out in the snow. Enjoy it. Do something useful in the real world for a change. But you see, that's the thing. Today, our government thinks that anything that happens in the real world is suddenly a massive emergency. It's like, the pollen count is too high. It's an emergency. The sun radiation is high today. What? I don't get all these emergencies when they're just totally normal events, Even the carbon dioxide cycle going up and down throughout human history. You know, carbon dioxide's been higher before in the history of the planet, much higher than it is right now. And of course, we're being told by all the global warming alarmists that, 2015 was the hottest year on record. Well, that's only true if you fake the satellite data and then announce that you don't believe the satellite data. Well, then what's the point of having satellites measuring temperature if you're just going to say, well, we don't like the numbers they got, so we're going to ignore them? And that's called science fraud, by the way. That would be like if I ran a coffee sample through my ICP-MS heavy metals analysis instrument, and let's say I didn't like the numbers. That would be like me just faking it and saying, "Oh, well, the machine's wrong. We'll just say it is whatever we want." That's what the global warming scientists are doing. Like we don't trust the instruments anymore when they give us answers that we don't like. Or as they say in scientific circles, it's like, well, first you draw the curve and then you plot the points to fit the curve, right? That's what they do. And then they think everything's an emergency. Well, so what's the takeaway from all of this? Number one, prepare in advance for anything and everything. Don't be stuck in the crowd of desperate shoppers who eventually transition to looters, right? So don't be stuck in that crowd. Secondly, enjoy this, okay? It's not an emergency. It's actually kind of a break, a nice break. Take some time off. Like I said, build a snowman. Get a giant snowball, roll it down the hill. Aim it for the children's sledding. No, I'm kidding. No, do it safely. Be safe. Be safe. Grab a sled yourself. Just have fun with this. Come on. It's not an emergency unless you're stupid. I've referenced people who wear tank tops and shorts and flip-flops in blizzards, and there's not much you can do to help those people. So as long as you're not one of those people, and I know you're not because you listen to this, then you're going to be fine. So just have fun with it. Have some time off. It'll be awesome. Shut down the internet. Hey, even if the power doesn't go out, shut off the power to your house by yourself. Just throw all those circuit breakers. Just imagine the grid's down, and you'll actually have a more peaceful weekend. Trust me. And you get some practice, too. So enjoy it. Thanks for listening. This is Mike Adams, HealthRangerReport.com.